This is an average snake found in the jungle, usually about 6 to 10 feet long. But 60 million years ago, snakes could stretch over 40 feet, big enough to swallow crocodiles whole. Scientists call it Titanoboa, the largest snake ever to exist, and yet there were creatures even faster and deadlier than this monster. If humans ever faced them today, our entire species could vanish in just a few short years. So in this video, we'll uncover the most dangerous creatures that went extinct, the species wiped out by humans, and finally, at the end of the video, we'll see the shocking case of a scary animal that scientists actually brought back from extinction. Imagine a world without humans. No forests, no mountains, only endless oceans hiding dark secrets. Deep below the surface lived a creature that sounds like pure legend. The sea scorpion. About 400 million years ago, it crawled both in water but also on land. Scientists call it Eurypterid, yet most people know it as the sea scorpion. This wasn't some harmless fish. It was nearly 8 feet long, with the body of a lobster but the menace of a scorpion. Its head was more than twice the size of any normal scorpion's, but its real weapons were the claws, razor sharp, strong enough to snatch and crush prey in seconds. Its armor-like body kept it safe, therefore it ruled the depths with ambush attacks, striking anything that wandered too close. When fossils appeared across the world, scientists were stunned. A predator this fierce had once dominated the seas. If it were alive today, scuba divers might never risk the water. For its time, it was among the deadliest hunters on Earth, so how did it vanish? Scientists point to two causes. First, the ocean grew more acidic, which hurt its survival, but the bigger reason was the rise of a new monster. Dunkleosteus, a 20-foot-long fish. Once it evolved, it began hunting sea scorpion, therefore driving them to extinction. About 14,000 years ago, the Ice Age wasn't just home to mammoths and saber-toothed cats. On those frozen lands roamed a beast just as fearsome, the Woolly Rhinoceros. We know it today through fossils, but if it still walked the earth, it would rank among the most dangerous animals alive. Its skin was like armor, thick enough to shrug off freezing winds, but also resist predator attacks. This giant could reach 15 feet in length, weighing nearly 6,000 kilograms. Its greatest weapon was its horn. The woolly rhino didn't claw or bite. It killed by charging full speed and driving that massive horn straight into its enemy. That brutal hunting style made it unlike anything else of its time. It lived mostly in the icy stretches of Siberia, where even saber-toothed tigers had to respect its power. Though deadly, it fed only on grass and leaves. So what brought down such a powerful creature? Scientists point to two culprits: warming climates and relentless hunters. As the Ice Age ended, rising temperatures stripped away the cold habitat it depended on. But humans also played a role, driving it further toward extinction. Still, its story isn't fully lost. Beneath Siberia's ice, bodies remain perfectly preserved. In fact, in August 2020, scientists uncovered a woolly rhino frozen for 32,000 years. Today, the ostrich holds the title of the largest bird alive, but just 10,000 years ago, a far greater giant walked the earth, the moa. Unlike the ostrich, which grows up to 9 feet, the moa stretched 12 to 14 feet tall and carried much more weight. This towering, flightless bird lived only in New Zealand. Fossils first uncovered there in 1830 were later carbon dated to about 10,000 years old. Moas survived on grass, tree leaves, and fruit, but they couldn't escape danger from above. Like ostriches, they were grounded birds. Therefore, when humans arrived, hunting became their greatest threat. Our ancestors pursued them without rest, and over time their numbers collapsed. By 600 to 700 years ago, the moa was gone, driven to extinction by relentless hunting, climate change, and shrinking habitats. About 150 million years ago, while dinosaurs ruled the land, the oceans had their own monster, the pliosaur. This giant marine reptile stretched nearly 40 feet long. Its jaws were so strong, packed with 12-inch teeth, that it could crush prey in seconds. Its 4 massive flippers gave it speed and power, turning it into a lightning-fast hunter. The first pliosaur fossils were uncovered in the late 1800s along Britain's coast. With sharp eyesight, it could track prey even in the dark depths of the sea. But the world changed. Climate shifts, broken food chains, and rising new species left the pliosaur with no chance. Therefore, it vanished during a mass extinction event. About 4 million years ago, the forests of Australia and Tasmania were home to a strange predator, the thylacine, also known as the Tasmanian tiger. Its body carried dark stripes, its face was long and narrow, and its flexible frame with strong legs made it a skilled night hunter. With jaws that open nearly 120 degrees, it could clamp down with ease. European settlers first recorded the animal in the early 1800s. At night, it hunted small mammals and birds, but as humans spread deeper into Tasmania, the thylacine turned to livestock, sheep and goats. Therefore, farmers struck back, killing them in huge numbers. Over time, their population collapsed. By 1936, the last known thylacine died in Hobart Zoo. The species was declared extinct, a loss caused almost entirely by human hands. Around 400,000 years ago, in the middle of the Ice Age, a giant appeared, the woolly mammoth. Covered in thick, shaggy fur and armed with tusks that stretched up to 15 feet, it was built to survive brutal winds and frozen landscapes. These giants weighed between 6,000 and 8,000 kilograms, roaming across Europe, Asia, and North America. Fossils uncovered in Siberia during the 1700s showed how old they were, with some even found still covered in hair. Mammoths lived in herds, using their massive size and tusks to defend themselves. But the world began to change. As the earth warmed and humans hunted them, their numbers dropped sharply. Therefore, about 10,000 years ago, most woolly mammoths vanished. Today, scientists are working to bring them back, using DNA from frozen remains and advanced genetic engineering. Around 250,000 years ago, North America's forests and valleys were ruled by the dire wolf. Heavier than modern wolves, weighing up to 90 kilograms, it carried crushing jaws strong enough to snap the largest bones. These predators hunted deer, bison, and even horses, often striking in well-coordinated packs. The first fossils were uncovered in 1854, but thousands more later surfaced in California's tar pits. Compared to today's wolves, they were about 25% larger. White fur, enormous jaws, terrifying strength, dire wolves were built for dominance. But the Ice Age ended, prey numbers collapsed, and without food, they starved. Around 10,000 years ago, the dire wolf vanished. Today, however, science is rewriting their story. Using DNA from ancient fossils, researchers have cloned living dire wolves, the first extinct species ever brought back. The project, led by Colossal Biosciences, keeps these animals under tight observation in secure facilities. This process is called deextinction. DNA from fossils is used to clone extinct animals into life once again. The dire wolf is only the beginning. Which creatures could return next, and what might that mean for nature or for us? Therefore, the future holds both wonder and uncertainty. If you want to uncover more stories like this, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what comes next.